l'Italia, l'Italia sei resta, fratelli d'Italia, l'Italia sei resta, l'anelmo di
Thank you, Sergeant Watt. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Chief Master Sergeant Jerry Williams, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome all of you for this special occasion, the promotion of Senior Master Sergeant Richard McHose, Senior Master Sergeant Paul Portugal, to the rank of Chief Master Sergeant. Please join me as we welcome our special guests in attendance today. First, Sergeant McHose's wife, Shauna. His daughter, Ashley. And his son, Brian. The 31st Fighter Wing Commander, Brigadier General John Norton. The Command Chief, 31st Fighter Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Mark Batson. The Commander, 31st Operations Group, Colonel Anthony Appernack. The Commander, 31st Mission Support Group, Colonel Harry Lane. The Commander, 31st Maintenance Group, Colonel Brian Beers. Also, please give a warm welcome to our guests from the Avianos Chiefs Group who are in attendance today to celebrate this momentous occasion. Today, we gather to recognize the promotion of 2 Chief Master Sergeants. The rank of Chief Master Sergeant was established by Congress in 1958, and a promotion ceiling to Chief was established at 1% of the total enlisted force. In December 1959, 1,700 individuals were selected to be the first to wear this new grade. These airmen were leaders who possessed unique talents and displayed personal characteristics required to manage Air Force people and programs. The Air Force ensures only the very best senior NCOs are promoted to this top rank, and they must at all times epitomize the finest qualities of a military leader. There are only 2,524 Chief Master Sergeants in the Air Force today, and we add Senior Master Sergeant McHose and Senior Master Sergeant Portugal to that number. They've shown the potential for increased responsibility and proven that they possess the attributes needed to be a Chief Master Sergeant. From this day forward, they will be known as Chief. At this time, Chief Baxter would like to say a few words.
All right, truly appreciate everyone coming today. This is by far a monumental occasion for both of these Chief Master Sergeants. Look back through your career, wow. a lot of accomplishments, a lot of leadership. The Air Force has entrusted the future into you as the upcoming Chief Master Sergeant. So let me just give you a couple words of advice, and obviously everyone else just heed with what I'm saying here. The first thing is, what got you here today, your personality, your leadership traits, your management traits, do not change any of that, because that's why you're putting on this next stripe, Chief Master Sergeant, because of who you have been and the potential that the Air Force sees in you to lead us in the future. Next thing is, this is your time to give back. As Chief Master Sergeants, you know, as we're coming up through the ranks, there was those senior NCOs, those senior leaders that have taken care of us. We don't get put in for awards as Chief Master Sergeants. This is our time to give back. So I charge you both, now is the time to mentor those young airmen and allow them to achieve this great position that you have achieved through mentorship, recognition, and just showing the way. And then as a Chief Master Sergeant, just like a first shirt, just like a commander, everything you do is in a fishbowl. Everyone will look up at you. Everything you do, they're going to epitomize. So make sure integrity first, always lead by example. And then the last thing here is ABCs, always balance commitments. A lot of us through our career, we put a lot into the work effort, and then we look at our family members. Some of you might think, wow, I don't even know who my kids are, who my wife is. So we need to make sure that we balance our commitments. Yes, you work a full day, but at the same time, you need to spend quality time with your family, loved ones. So after your career is done, you don't look back and say, yeah, I had a great career, but now I'm divorced, I don't know who my kids are. So you need to balance commitments always. And then in closing, what does it really mean to be a Chief Master Sergeant? Okay, a Chief Master Sergeant, we cannot be bought, whose word is our bond, who put character above wealth, who possess the opinions and a will, who are larger than their vocations, who will not lose their identity in a crowd, who will be as honest in small things as in great ones, who will make no compromise with wrong, whose ambitions are not confined to their own selfish desires and interests, who are true to their friends through good report and evil report, in adversity as well as prosperity, who do not believe in shrewdness, cunning, and hard-headedness are the best qualities in a winning team. Paul, Richard, you got big shoes to fill. There's been a lot of great Chief Master Sergeants before us, and I challenge you, and I know you will live up to this challenge, but we have a lot of things going on in our Air Force these days, and we need strong and bold leaders. So best of luck with that charge. You will do exceptionally well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Baxter. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Lieutenant Colonel Montevani would like to say a few comments regarding Senior Master Sergeant McHose.
Senior Master Sergeant Portugal and Senior Master Sergeant McHose, congratulations on the achievement. And as you know, this wasn't just your achievement, it's your family. I see we've got a wife on Skype there, on the iPad. That's awesome, welcome. And Rick, the job that you and Sean have done raising those two kids, I've gotten a chance to get to know them. I think it's a testament to being able to always balance commitments, Chief, when you have a son who's on his way to basic training in September, who's sitting in the audience. So he's enlisted. You've got a daughter who's active in the drill team. She's active in junior ROTC. They've seen the model that you've demonstrated over the last 22 years on 10 duty stations, over 7 deployments, and they've said, you know what, sign me up for that too, because I want to be like Dad. That's pretty darn cool. You know, you came into the Air Force in '92, you know, the guy grew up in Pennsylvania, and you want to ask yourself, Ryan, my dad, I'm thinking about my dad, 22 years, how does a guy that doesn't eat vegetables or fruit make chief? Never. He eats meat alone. You're a carnivore, okay? So maybe it's that. It's a lot more than that, okay? You know, I looked through your records, Senior McHose, and I've seen some common variables there. You've been a leader since you were an airman starting off at CMSgt. When you were there, he deployed here. His first deployment was to Aviano during Kosovo operations there. Okay, that was pretty impressive. Your next duty station at Seymour Johnson, he had 3 deployments there, 2 to Operation Southern Watch in Doha, and then you went on to PSAP. Senior Airman below the zone. So you're starting to set a pattern there. It's going to help you make chief later. But you're not trying to make chief when you're a senior airman or an A1C. You know, you're just doing your best. You're taking care of people. And you had a lot of contingency skills under your belt. You're an expert. And the Air Force recognized that, and they sent you to Ramstein to kind of lead our career fields, the pinnacle schoolhouse for teaching contingency skills called Silver Flag. So Rick's there. He's teaching our young airmen. And based on that, they sent him to Charleston after that. He's at Charleston Air Force Base, continuing to lead. He's a structural craftsman. Think carpenter. Hammer and nails, welding metal, doing all these things, building bear bases. He's building bee huts. He's building all these things. And he gets sent downrange to Bagram in 2005. So you're building up this contingency skill set while you're out there. You've got a couple more assignments after that. You end up in Korea. Now, when he's in Korea, he's the cantonment superintendent who travels around Korea supervising all the cantonments. $3.5 million worth of that. Your leadership, you're taking care of your people, it's all being recognized. You head out to Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, and when you're at Whiteman, now you're in charge of your shop. You're a master sergeant in charge of the shop. You work your way up to be the operations superintendent. You get tagged with another deployment this time. Now this is the kind of deployment that kind of gives you chills. You head to Balad, and you're with another Red Horse squadron, and while you're doing that, he is leading 26 airmen in a mobile construction team outside the wire, entirely outside of the wire, and these guys closed out $6 million worth of construction projects between Balad, Basra, and Ali Base, and you're their leader. And so what do you do with a guy like that, who's leading his people, he's taking care of business, he knows the mission? Well, you send him to the schoolhouse and you put him in charge. So, and not just the Air Force, but he's in charge of the joint schoolhouse at Gulfport, Mississippi. They've got a joint base there where they're training Seabees, they're training Army combat engineers, and the Air Force. So all the young airmen that are coming through in a multi-services benefited from him. They put out 2,100 airmen each year while you were there. And then you came here. Thank goodness. Because over the last year and a half, you and I got here about the same time. I've seen the pinnacle of professionalness, and I've said to myself, you know, secretly in my head, if this guy doesn't make chief, you know, I don't know who could possibly make chief. You've earned it. You've balanced your family. You've produced 2 great kids. You've got a wife that loves you, and let's promote you now. So come on up here.
Thanks. Sean, if I ask, can you please come forward to tack on the chief stripes?
Hard as you can, Ron.
Hard as you hit them.
A couple years of lifting weights
Remember, punch through your target.
Thank you, Senator Ryan. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Master Sergeant McHose.
thank you all for coming today. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, General Norman, Chief Batzer, Colonel Abernathy, Colonel Lane, Colonel Beers, my family, of course, and the Chiefs group who've all been here to support me. Thank you to my civil engineer family for being here. This is, you know, they say it takes a community to raise a child, and it definitely takes a community to raise a chief. Nobody gets to this position alone. Absolutely can't. And so, you know, a time like this is a time to say thanks. It's very humbling, and I honestly don't feel like I've earned this, because I know it wasn't just me that got me here. It was, you know, everyone around my family in the Air Force, my past supervisors and commanders, leadership who have supported me, given me opportunities. My parents have been an inspiration to me from the beginning, and I don't think they ever thought I was going to make much of myself after high school. So it's they're kind of surprised at how I ended up turning out. But my dad was a senior master sergeant; he retired, and so a lot of things I've done through my career, I kind of had that model of how he was in uniform, and that's kind of, I think, what I followed. So, but most importantly, I have to thank my family, because I truly do have an Air Force family. They have sacrificed a lot. My wife and I were both active duty, and you know, we had to make that decision. We had 2 careers, and she sacrificed her career, did 8 years active duty, so that to take care of the kids, and then so my career could take off, and it was hard to balance both. So I definitely owe my family a lot for supporting me, because without them, I wouldn't have been able to move around so much and handle the deployments as well. My kids, again, my son, he's already enlisted in the Air Force, and he's going to be a refueler bomber crew chief. And he was 3 years ROTC, and my daughter's in ROTC. So my family's been amazing, and without them, there's no way I would have been able to do this. So thank you all. I love you all. I appreciate it. So again, thank you all for coming, and let's promote the next guy.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Lieutenant Colonel Gable will say a few words regarding Senior Master Sergeant Portugal.
All right, it's always tough to go last. All the good words were taken already. Let me see what I got left on my speech. Top 1%, got that. Kathy, no, somebody already thanked you for being here. Kathy, welcome via FaceTime, got that. All right, let's get the jacket. Not quite. All right, so seriously, a family is behind what you see before you with both Chief Selects here today. And it's not just their family that's here via FaceTime and here, back in Arizona right now, while Chief Select, soon to remove the Select, Portugal came here without his family. It's this family right here that's all gathered. It's the family that has been behind him since December 1990. He ordered a flyby, it's just right here. Looks like just a 2-ship. So, December 1990, I know what I was doing. I was finishing up high school. And PL was joining the Air Force. And that is pretty honorable, and that's what we're here to celebrate today. And again, this family that's right here is here to celebrate both of these, Rick and PL, on what I can't even imagine as a milestone. As an officer, I'm only halfway up to the highest level I can possibly be. There's only one person ahead of them in that rank line, and that is the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. That is it. There's only one rank above what they are right now. And like I said, for a lowly lieutenant colonel like myself, I'm only halfway. So I can't even imagine the feeling that is behind what they're going through today. And so I just appreciate everybody being out here for that. For Eric, Portia, and Alina, sorry you guys can't be here, but thanks for sharing PL with us for the past 9 months. And I'm glad he gets to come home to you. Our loss is definitely your gain and ACC's gain. And PACAF was silly not to take it, so ACC is definitely winning in this battle. And we will miss you guys all here, even though you haven't been out as much as I know you wanted to. But thanks for supporting PL. I'm sure when he said, yeah, I want to go to Aviano, and even without you, I still want to go there. I'm sure that was a tough decision, and you were there with open arms to welcome him back in just another little over a month, and you'll have him back. So thanks for loaning him to us for the past 9 months. Wow, everything else really was taken. I didn't go through as thoroughly as Colonel Montavani did, but I went through PL's EPRs. I was trying to figure out more for myself so I can mentor some of my young airmen. How do you determine who's going to be a chief when they're an airman first class in 1992? And the only thing I could consistently find in all these pieces of paper is actually some advice I was given one time, and it still matches. Whatever job you have at the time, do the best you possibly can. And the rest of it will just all work out. And there's no question, and again, I'm sorry I don't have the big resume memorized. PL asked me not to. But what you'll notice is there's excellence throughout that. There is getting a job, getting a task, and doing the best you possibly can with it. And that's what you see before you in these 2 Chief Master Sergeants today. And that's what we're here to celebrate. So let's stop making me say the word select after I say Chief Master Sergeant. Let's get you up here.
Thank you, Colonel Gaber. Chief Olson, would you please come forward to attack on the Chief's strengths?
Relax, because it's going to hurt. No.
Thanks, Colonel Gabriel and Chief Olson. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Master Sergeant Portugal.
General Norman, Chief Batzer, Colonel Abernathy, Colonel Lane, Colonel Beers, fellow chiefs, it's nice to say fellow chiefs. Thank you all for being here. My OSS family, my CE family. You know, I say my CE family because I'm airfield management, but probably 75 to 90% of our job, we work with you guys directly. Colonel Gable kind of took what, you know, some of the things I was going to say, much like his words were taken. But the only thing I could think of the whole time when I found out I made chief was the 3 groups that really mean the most to me. And all of them are family. The first one is my Air Force family. Like I said, from CE to the OSS, the Ops Group, Med Group, MSG, all the way through maintenance, we are just one big family, and none of us gets to where we're at without all of you guys working together as one huge team. You know, we always say one team, one fight, and that's really what the Air Force is. We start as airmen, we're all airmen, and it's not me that got where I'm at, it's this one big team that we've all done it. So I can't take any of the credit, I just do the job. And much like Colonel Gable said, he just says, do your best, and a former chief once told me, how do you make chief? You just do your job. So do it as best as you can. The second family that you have is your squadron family, my OSS family. You know, I've been doing this job for 21 years, and it's always that squadron that you work with, that section that continually gives you that support to do what you need to do. You have leaders that mentor you as you come up, and you learn to mentor, and eventually you're the one that's leading them. And I have an awesome team, my airfield management team here. I've been blessed with the airfield management sections that I've been in this 23-year ride. And so I'm just thankful to my OSS family and my airfield management family. Thank you guys for all the support you've given. And the third family, and really the most important family, are your wife, your kids, your parents, you know, your best friends. Like Colonel Gibble said, my wife didn't come out here with me. It was a really tough decision, but fortunately through technology, she's sitting here watching all of this going on. And Kathy, I love you, babe. There's no words that can really describe the things that we've gone through to make this decision, and the support that Kathy has given me over this 23-year ride has just been incredible. She knew the decision we had to make, and she said, go do what you have to do. And it's been a huge blessing and a sacrifice that she's made, my kids have made, Eric, Portia, and Alina, and fortunately, they've supported me in everything that I've done. So always count on those three families to get you through whatever it is that struggle that you have that day. Know that you have that support to help carry you, and you're going to be successful. Thank you again for being here, and truly it's an honor to be here in front of everybody. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. After a brief photo session, please congratulate our newest chiefs in the receiving line and the refreshments. Thank you for attending, and have a great Air Force Day.
Cheesy smile at the phone.
Everybody's just like, hey, there. I know. Well, that's why I was standing there for a long time. Probably a long time.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Congratulations.
Well done, as always.
Hey, Chief. It was okay. It wasn't
You're gonna come in and you're gonna hold it up like that. Mo's gonna hold it up like this. It's gonna look like you're in uniform.
Oh, you get up.
Oh yeah,
Lucia, come be the wife. I'll hold the baby. You gotta hold her up in front of your face. Are we gonna get a picture? Yeah. Higher? There? Right about there. Yeah, that's good. Should I put my hand? You're so crazy, Kathy. You are so crazy. Should we get like a virtual hug?
I got mine right here.
Hey, Paul, why don't you get a picture of the way?
I told you I wasn't the only one. There was like this, a little more different dress. I thought I was. Hey, hi, Kathy. Yeah. You gotta look this way. Is that height right?
Yeah, that's about
Right?
right. That's about right.
She's about my height, right?
That's about right. You gotta get
I like how you're still smiling. I am still smiling, even though my face doesn't know what to see in the picture. I'm like,
to